All right, more now on our breaking news. The American soldier who went absent without leave by running into North Korea, he is back in the U.S. We received confirmation that the flight carrying Travis King has indeed arrived in San Antonio, Texas, more than 2 months after his dash over the military demarcation line in the Korean demilitarized zone. Let's get straight to CNN's Mark Stewart, who is live in Beijing. So, Mark, take us through where exactly he'll be heading next and what happens.
Right, Kim. In the hours and even the days ahead, Travis King is almost going to go through a checklist of different chores instituted by the United States military. First of all, the big focus is going to be on his health, his physical health and his emotional health. He certainly will get a physical exam from a physician, from a group of individuals described by the State Department as being talented and experienced in these matters. He also may be taken to a program that's operated by the Department of Defense to help people like Private King, who have been held in captivity, who have been in a very difficult set of circumstances, and then need to assimilate and get used to life once again. It's a program the Department of Defense is well known for. Brittany Griner was taken there when she was released from Russia. And then also, I think it is very safe to say that the United States military and other officials are going to want to question him about his own personal experience in North Korea. What questions were asked? What did you ask of them? What were the conditions like? What did you share? This is all part of a procedure that the Department of Defense has gone through with other individuals over the years and likely will put in place now that Private King is back on U.S. soil, Kim.
Interesting. And the decision by North Korea to return him so quickly, I mean, it's unusual given some of the other precedents. Do we know what's behind this? Does it indicate sort of how they valued him?
Well, we've been hearing from a lot of analysts over the last 12 hours or so who have had different takes, some suggesting that because he was a low-ranking military official, he may not have been seen as of great value to the North Koreans as perhaps someone of a higher rank. It is interesting, though, to hear the different explanations as to how this release took place. North Korea being very adamant that this was an expulsion that took place after an investigation. Yet, if we listen to the United States Department, the State Department is saying that this was an intense diplomatic effort. It involved, of course, the United States, but giving a lot of credit to the Swedish government, even the Chinese government, for helping to facilitate this release from North Korea over a bridge into China, and then being greeted by the United States ambassador. One thing which is very clear, though, is the United States has been very adamant that no concessions were taking place. But as far as some kind of lasting impact, that's still needs to be determined, Kim.
Yeah, I guess we only have about 30 seconds left, but do you think this will have an impact in terms of relations with North Korea, relations with China, as you said they were involved in this?
Well, let's talk about China, where I am right now. I mean, the United States and China have had a very lukewarm relationship in recent times, yet we did see this act of assistance to make this transition take possible. So perhaps the State Department is viewing that in a positive sense. As far as the United States and North Korea, right now they've had no formal diplomatic relations. There's no indication at this point that we are going to see some kind of change, Kim.
Interesting. All right. Again, the breaking news, Travis King back on U.S. soil. Mark Stewart in Beijing, thank you so much for